Hello Nigeria, hello Africa. You're watching Plus TV Africa and the program is Sports Business with Orufuo Ezaga. Today we're going to have another bumper package for you. We always do. I always tell you that, but in truth we're bringing some of the most powerful voices in sports in Nigeria to talk about, sports generally and how to grow the sports industry to become a major economic driver in Nigeria. Today, we're going to be talking about the NNL and the NPFL, the relationship between the NNL, which is the second tier of the Nigerian League, and the NPFL, which is the top tier of the Nigerian Premier Football League. Joining me in the studio today is Mr. Nelson Ine. He's an executive director with GTI Asset Management and Trust Limited. They are the financial partners, the strategic partners. They're a strategic partner of the NPFL. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get Mr. George Alo, who is the chairman of the NNL, because he's right now caught up in some event in Abuja and he cannot join us. All right, but not to worry. Nelson is here. He knows everything there is to know about Nigerian football, whether it's the NPFL or the NNL or the NLO, which is the third tier of the league. Now, what we want you to realize today is the importance that the NNL plays in the league structure, because they feed the NPFL teams following a season of what you call qualification. And then they also receive teams from the NLO. All right, Nelson will speak about that. And after he's done that, we'll now talk about the NPFL and the new developments that are coming our way. Guys, I think it's time to fasten your seatbelts, because from January 2025, the NPFL looks like it's going to be rocking. All right, so stay with us. We'll be back. As is the nature of the program, I'm going to give you a minute to relax and stretch your legs and invite a friend or two to join us on this program. You never know, whatever you're going to hear might change the way you look at sports and sports business, and it could open an opportunity or two for you and your organization. Stick with us. We'll be back in just over a minute. Don't go away. When we come back, the business begins. You're welcome back to the program Sports Business with Orufuo Ezaga, and you're watching Plus TV Africa. We're reaching you live from our studios in Victoria Island, Lagos. Today we're going to be talking about the NNL, which is the second tier of the Nigerian League. And in the studio with me is Mr. Nelson Ine, who is an executive director of GTI Asset Management and Trust Company. They work with the Nigerian Premier Football League, which is the top tier of the league. Now, I'm going to be asking Mr. Ine about, what sort of relationship the NPFL has with the NNL. Do they work together in any way? Seeing that they're linked, they're linked in some way, because the top players from the NNL, top teams from the NNL go on to play in the NPFL, while the bottom teams in the NPFL drop into the NNL to play. All right, so welcome to the studio, Nelson.
Good afternoon, Orufuo, and good afternoon, viewers.
Okay. The NPFL must be doing very good, and I'll tell you why. The last time Nelson was on this program, he's been on this program a few times. The last time he was on this program, he wasn't looking this good. I was just complimenting him. Good suit. Mm-hmm. He's filled out. He's looking fresher.
True.
Tell him life must be good.
Life should be good. And we expect life to be better.
Okay. But I hear life is going to be better soon for the NPFL. But we're going to hold on to that. Yeah. So let's first of all talk about the NNL. Unfortunately, we're supposed to have George Alo, who is the chairman of the NNL, with us today. But like I said in my intro, he's caught up somewhere, so he can't join us, unfortunately. But you know about Nigerian football, you know the NNL, you must have some sort of relationship with them, because I think somehow your fate is linked. Do you have what's your relationship with the NNL like?
Yeah, well, for now, I wouldn't say there's any direct relationship per se, but there's always a link between the NLL and the NPFL, because at the end of the season, the teams that are relegated from the NPFL will move into the NNL, and the ones that are promoted from the NNL will move into the NPFL. So, one thing at the NNL level, it's always extremely competitive, because you look at the number of teams there. There are about 36 teams divided into 4 groups. And thereafter they progress to play the Super 8 that will now determine the 4 teams that are going to be promoted. So it's a very tough division to play in, because the competition there is very, very stiff, and everybody is struggling to move to the Premier League, which is the apex league of the football hierarchy in any country. So, and most times the attention is always on the Premier League. But so for players to get that viewership, that representation, and get the attention of both the local and the international community, they always know that the NPFL, the Premier League, is where the real action is. So there's always this competition to want to move into the NPFL from the NNL, and always the struggle at the NNL, at the NPFL, not to be relegated to the NNL. Because when you get to the NNL, it becomes very, very tough to come back to the NPFL. So they have that strong relationship.
And, look, in some climes where the top tier league is very successful, sometimes they support the leagues under them.
Yes.
I know that you guys are not there yet, but so I wonder, how these guys survive. These are the questions I was going to throw to you. How do they survive when you yourself in the top flight you're struggling, And by the way, are you still struggling?
Are we struggling? I won't say we are struggling. I would say we are striving.
Okay.
Striving to make things better.
Okay.
It's looking good though, but there's still a lot of room to make it better. And that's what we are working towards. And in achieving that, like we always say, at every given point, we have the opportunity to engage like this. It's a collective effort of all partners coming on board. It's a collaborative thing to get the league, the Premier League or whatever league, to the level which we all crave for or we desire to get the league to. So at this level now, the one thing we've achieved today is to make the environment very conducive, very receptive to other partners that we expect to come on board as time goes on. And we're very confident that we are also very optimistic that a lot of partners, based on our engagements and feedbacks, we expect to get more partners to collaborate. And quite a lot of changes are going to take place going forward. These are things that must be done to get our league to where it's supposed to be. It's just an inevitable thing. It's only a matter of time. And we know those things to be done. And we are working towards achieving them. Our target is to make the Nigerian league the best in Africa. Because we have all it takes to get there. But now we need to work towards getting it there. And that's what we are trying to do.
And the more Lagos teams you have, I suspect, the more visibility, popularity the league would have. I'll tell you what, Sporting Lagos last season, they were big, and
honestly,
and
tried.
They brought a lot of attention to the league.
Glamour and everything.
Unfortunately, they were relegated, but in their place, Ikorodu City has, more than stepped up,
Yes, they've learned.
Yeah. I mean, right now they're like they're fourth in the league. That's.
And looking at how they started, how they started
with losses and all of that.
But they've done well.
But it also goes to show that the NNL is actually quite competitive, because, for instance, 4 teams came to the NPFL this season. Yes. Of course, one of the teams dropped out because their spot and gave their spot to Heartland FC. But if you look at the slide on the screen, Ikorodu City, they are 4th. They're one of the teams that came. The teams in blue. Then El Kanemi also came in from the NNL, and they're 6th. And the third team is Nasarawa United, who are 16th, but they are above the drop zone. So
the relegation zone.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, if you follow Nigerian football, you should be looking at the NNL, with a bit more interest than I tend to see these days, because this shows that the competitiveness of the NPFL, of the NNL, is pretty high.
Very high, very, very high. Like I told you, it's like survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
To want to move to the Premier League, so the commission is very stiff at that level.
Okay.
And you look at number of teams, 36 teams, only 4 will move.
We'll move to the, yeah. And this time we have teams like, from Lagos, we have Madiba FC, we have Inter Lagos,
yes.
We have First Bank.
For Sporting Lagos.
Yeah. We have Sporting Lagos.
And then 1472.
And then we have 1472. That's about 5 now. I'm sure that we're missing 1 or 2. So, maybe next season we'll finally get our wish and get multiple teams from Lagos. Why that is good, if you're sitting on my chair, is the fact that, Lagos is the economic nerve center of our country.
Yes.
Yeah. And the more Lagos teams playing in the NPFL, the more it grows the NPFL economy.
Yes.
So we're wishing for that to happen. But then you said that you guys have not come. You guys don't have any. You have not had any cause to meet to talk about. And I find that a bit surprising because you guys have a shared purpose to make football as big as it can be in this country, and you have shared. Is it? How do I put it? You have to work together. The success of one is the success of the other, right? So don't you think it's something? I mean, maybe you guys want to be working more closely together.
It's inevitable that we're going to be working closely as time goes on, because when you're looking at the Apex League, you also need to look at the other level that fits the Apex League. So at a point, you need to, in terms of knowledge transfer and the impact, there should be that common understanding at that level, and some of the expectations at the higher level. So the training starts at the NNL level for those aspiring to get to the top.
Yeah. So
we know that with time, definitely we are going to have more activities that together. Definitely is obvious. But like I said, we are just taking everything step by step in phases, and we'll definitely get to that point.
Okay. So the NNL is critical. I imagine the NLO is the league that should have the sort of relationship I'm trying to advocate for you and for you guys and the NNL. It should be the NLO and the NNL.
Yes, NLO.
That's why they're very important, because they have a relationship with you. They have a relationship.
They're all very important because they're like a feeder level to the Premier League. Because you see, even players at the NNO, NLO, the NNL, they all aspire to also want to play.
Yeah.
Either when the clubs are promoted, or they also have to put up very good performances, and the clubs at the NPFL will identify them and also want to, because that's just the top.
Okay. So let's talk about you guys now. Like I remarked earlier, you're looking all fed up. Fed up in a nice way. Yeah. So I hear that good things are coming to the NPFL. Let's hear what you. I mean, what has the season been like? If you had to look at the season so far, this is week 16 that was completed. Yes. Bendel Insurance, my team. Nelson, that's your team too.
My team, but now they're all my team now.
They're all your team, but I know you. We Bendel fans, we are worried about our team. But yeah, looking at what's gone on. 16 weeks. It's been relatively peaceful. Not a lot of controversies. So it means what are you doing that's working?
Again, you see, the results we are getting now, it was expected from when we started working on this project, because all you need to do is look at other similar leagues in the world that are doing well, and you look at any sports property that is doing well. It's about putting the proper systems in place. It should be a system that rewards good behavior and a system that also sanctions bad behavior. That system must be in place, and people must trust that system, and people must see fairness and equity in that system. You see, these are the major factors that drive any sports property.
Sorry to cut in here. You know, again, this is to buttress the point that you've just made. You know, my club, Bendel Insurance, they were docked 3 points this season. And why was that? In the dying minutes of a game against Kano Pillars in Benin City, which is our home ground, our host city, yeah, there was a penalty call against Bendel Insurance, against the home team in the dying minutes of the game, which is something that would have been considered, which would have been unprecedented in time past, you know. And the penalty was converted, and our fans were not too happy about it, and that cost us 3 points. So it means look, even as a fan, I knew that it was a good call, because I saw the replays, and which also means that, which also brings me to another point. You now have replays in the league, and so there's progress. You know, so please continue. I just said that to buttress the fact that fairness is beginning to be a thing.
Yes, fairness is very, 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 very important, because if you treat people fairly, the tendency for them to behave well is there. But when you treat people unjustly, then you might probably get some kind of response that may not be pleasant. So those are the kind of systems we have put in place today, where a lot of things are transparent, and there's also accountability too.
Okay.
So today, and that is why we said we've created an atmosphere to make it extremely conducive for partners, brands, everybody to come on board, which is how it is done everywhere in the world.
Okay.
You know, so at least we've done that. This is the third season now, and what you can see with the league is progress. We've been moving positively upward, not downwards. And the good thing is that a lot of teams are also getting familiar with the fact that certain bad behaviors will not go unpunished, you know. And again, the kind of system we have today is that now teams go away to win without any fear. And so if you've gone away to win and you are not harassed, so the day you are also beaten in your home, you should harass
accept it.
You should accept it and not. So at least that's something that is becoming very clear to everyone now, that you need to play to win. You need to play good football to win. You don't think you're just going to win. And that is where the principle of fairness and equity comes into play now, which is very important. Okay. And that is why we are getting the kind of result we are getting today. But again, there's still a lot of room for improvement. For a lot. And
I was just going to come to that, actually. You know, the fact that, you know, there's been improvements in the filming. Yeah, so these days I see that with your streaming partners, especially, even the TV partner, there are now highlights that people can watch. Yeah, but what I still don't see is that, you know, maybe it's a result of the money that you have to work with, but you know, the sort of, you know, messaging, the publicity. First, you have to be aggressive, then the messaging has to be one that resonates with especially corporate Nigeria. You know, I don't see attempts in that direction yet. I don't see, for instance, that you've had like a parley with corporate Nigeria where you would invite maybe the top CEOs to a forum, and then you educate them on the steps that you have made in the NPFL, because you need their money, and you know, they need to know where their money is going, and they need to be confident that the money is going to be judiciously utilized. You know, so do you have plans in that direction to make sure that you cut, corporate Nigeria and then you, yeah.
Yes, we do, and we've been having a lot of engagements, and but the engagement cannot be enough. So there's always opportunity to continue to engage, and the media palace is not even only for corporate Nigeria, even the sporting press, financial press, and all of them. So from time to time, definitely a lot of activities are going to come up in very soon, and like I said, it's still a lot of work in progress, and the corporate brands, we need them on board, and at least with what we've experienced in the league in the last 3 years, we can clearly see that it's a departure from where we were coming from, and there's definitely a lot of progress that have been made. But again, we still need to continue to engage with them because we need them. We need them to come on board, and both local and foreign partners we are also engaging. We are not only engaging the local partners, we're also engaging the foreign partners too. So, and you're going to see a lot of those activities going forward. Speaking
about the foreign partners, it's been in the news, so it's really not any. We hear that IMG, the International Sports Marketing Agency, is looking to come to the Nigerian League. And they were here about a month ago or so. They went around, they went to NNPC, they got NNPC. I don't know whether they got NNPC to do that, but NNPC now says, okay, you know what, guys, we want to invest in the Nigerian League. Which is why I said things are beginning to happen, How far are we with this deal? Are you comfortable at this point in time based on what what you have seen happen, that come 2025 things are going to change with the league?
Yes. It's like you said, it's already in the public domain, and we've met with the IMG team, and with the Afro Sports team too, that are also involved in this whole thing. Like we said initially, what we've done is to create a conducive environment for a lot of partners to come on board, both local and foreign. Because we need the input of everyone to grow the league. Everybody bringing their expertise, their resources on board to grow the league. And IMG is a very big name in the sports industry in terms of looking at their pedigree and what they've done with similar assets in the past. You see, and again, you see, it is also the impact of what GTI has been able to bring to the table that is also encouraging a lot of these people to come on board, because they too also have seen that GTI is a very good partner they can work with to grow this asset. They have the experience, they've done it in the past in other countries, and working with them on this project is going to be something good for the system. And like I said, the whole project is like a marathon, which we've been handling in phases.
That's from the GTI end?
From the GTI end. We've started the whole transformation, the whole reforms, working with the NPFL board. We must also give the NPFL board a lot of credit. In this whole, you can see it's a collective thing. We've been working together as partners on this project. The NPFL board has been very fantastic, handling their own part of this project to ensure that there's some level of decency. There's also in terms of sanctions and all this stuff, and also the format of the league, starting of the league, the fixtures of the league. I mean, it's been very wonderful. Today we're in week 16, month of December, unlike what we've been experiencing in the past. So, but there are going to be a lot of reforms, because we all know that quite a lot needs to be done with this league. From the center and also from the various clubs at that level. A lot of capacity building, training across board is expected because of what we are trying to achieve. So Though it's a bit gradual, but we strongly believe that by next season, from January moving into the next season, is going to be a different ball game entirely. And
why January? What's going to happen in January?
this is December.
Yeah, exactly. This is December.
But let me say this: the process is already ongoing. The process is already ongoing. So what I'm saying is that certain aspects of this process are going to become obvious January and going forward. But like I said, it's going to be a total transformation and overhauling of the old system. You know, so at the end of the day,
we should be happy. The fans of
the sports ecosystem is going to be better off. All stakeholders are going to be better off. The clubs, players, the press, the brands, everybody. You know, because what we are trying to do now is to create something of significant value that will bring benefit to all stakeholders. So that is what we are looking at, and that is how it's supposed to be anyway.
Nelson, we're a country of 230 million people. Yeah, we're not just 230 million. We're a loud and assertive people. Do you understand? People, yes. We're multicultural, so we have there's spice to being Nigerian. You get? So this is huge. If you can, and then there are Nigerians all over the world, you know. Yeah. And when Nigerians, you know, Nigerians, when they go out there, they just don't hide in the shadows. No. They go there, they marry into other cultures, you know. So there are all kinds of people there looking to identify with us. There's a global audience of 8 billion people, out of which they say about 3.4 to 3.6 billion people are football fans. Yes. So there's and then there's ING now looking at our league. So I don't know whether I have to go on my knees and beg you people to make this thing work, because I see that if this works,
it will work.
Yeah, well,
it will work.
Yeah, if it works, you know, I can't, you know,
it will definitely work.
But here's the point. The point is, it works, and then we can actually become easily the biggest league on the African continent. Do you guys have any cash projections in your head at all when you think about the potential of the league?
All I can tell is that in the next 1 year, the impact is going to be tremendous.
Okay.
Across board. Tremendous impact.
Okay.
So that's all I can say for now. So we just see the whole thing unfold as we move ahead. But it's going to be tremendous impact across all levels.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you heard it. You've heard him say that things are going to happen, and there's no reason why you shouldn't believe the man. Look at his belly is bigger now. You know, it's fresher.
Can you see my belly?
His suit is more expensive. You know, life is good. So to all of you out there who are fans of Nigerian football, I think this is about the time when you're probably looking at the NPFL and thinking, you know, maybe it's time to plant my flag somewhere in the NPFL space before this blows up, and then, you know, you are left out in the cold. All right. I'm excited myself. I think that lots of things are going to happen with our football, whether with ING or some other partner. You know, things will certainly happen, because I think we're on course to that place that we want to get to. All right. And when we return, we're going to be talking more about, you know, a bit more about, you know, what to expect from the NPFL, the good, the bad, the ugly, and that's of things that have happened in the season so far. We're looking forward with hope, and you know, I want you to do same as well. We're going to go on a short break now, and when we return, the business continues. Welcome back to the program Sports Business with Orufuo Ezaga, and the station is Plus TV Africa. You're watching this program. We're reaching you live from our studios in Victoria Island, Lagos. With me in the studio is Mr. Nelson Ine. He's an executive director with GTI. He's the project director on the Nigeria Premier Football League. How this works is that GTI are like the financial partners or strategic partners to the league. They provide, right now they are the ones providing the funding that has kept the league going for the last 2 seasons and a half, I think.
3 seasons.
3 seasons, all right? So I'm going to ask Nelson, how they're coping in terms of funding, and what other plans are out there to ensure that, I know that with the IMG deal, things are going to happen, yeah? But what's the fallback position, for instance? What happens if IMG is not another part of the deal? How do we cope? Because we can't have one plan, all right? So Nelson, first, let's talk about 3 seasons of doing this thing, and there's not been a lot of corporate support from Nigerians, right? So the league has struggled. How have you managed to fund all of this? How?
You know that from beginning, again, you see, apart from the funding aspects, which we are providing for the league, like we said, we are strategic partners, not just about funding. We're looking at systems, looking at so many things, and how the system will work in such a way to attract partners. So now, IMG is just one of the partners it has attracted.
Okay.
Does not mean that the whole project is about waiting for IMG. No. And we also know that as we progress, like I said, we're also having engagement with so many other prospecting partners for the league. And we strongly believe that whatever we've done with the league today is what is creating that traction now. And if there's one thing that is very, very clear to everyone, the proof of concept, the fact that the league can grow, the fact that the league can make the progress we are witnessing today, which a lot of people were skeptical about at the onset, is a good sign for other partners to come on board. For IMG to come on board is a good thing for the league. But again, we do not limit the participation of prospective partners to IMG. There are other people we also expect to come on board. But their coming on board is also a good thing for the league. So it's not about limiting the old thing or building the old thing around IMG. No.
Well, I find this curious that 3 seasons of the league running relatively well, we still struggle for sponsorship in Nigeria. For me, it's. I do not think that would happen in any progressive country. Do you understand? Based on look, I'll give you the example of the South African League, for instance. From when they started until today, they have had a title sponsor. All of them South African companies. They put their money there, and I know I can understand that a corporate organization can say, I don't want to put my money in the NPFL because I don't know what's going on. Do you understand? But 1 season has passed. A 2nd season has passed. We're into a 3rd season. Surely this is a time when people should say, we're going to put our money there. And if we meet, part of putting your money is not just to give them money and sit back. It's to try and improve what is there. So if you give them your money, you can sit with them to say, we're going to give you money, but these are ways we think you can improve the product. Do you understand what I'm saying? So sometimes I don't know what experience you get when you talk to big brands in this country about putting their money in the league and what it can do for our clubs and for a generation of young people that needs to be engaged.
Yes, again, the experience with a lot of these brands, like I said, we've been engaging with many of them. And you see, our own approach is a mutual thing we look at, not just about only improving the league, but also about them getting value. And having discussions on how both organizations, both entities can get value from this collaboration. That is the approach we've actually adopted. Yes, some of the in terms of feedback and responses for them, I'll be very honest with you, and everyone we have spoken to has been positive somehow. But
so where is the evidence?
The positive thing is that, okay, fine, we engage, the feedback is good, but then the process to getting it to conclusion, I think that is the phase we are. So that's the phase we have with some of them. So you see, you don't go and engage with them today and the next day you are signing the deal.
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
So that's the phase we have. We've had several engagements in that regard with brands.
You know, Nelson, you are the brand, you are the person representing the organization, so you be nice. You know, I'm not representing the organization. I'm not representing GTI. Do you understand? I just think in this country we need to wake up a bit. I mean, look at all of the progressive. Eimba played a match against I think it was Zamalek. Zamalek. Yes. They came to Uyo, right? And they almost beat us here. You know what I mean? And you know, when you look at Africa and you say what are the progressive countries in Africa? Where you probably think of first is maybe South Africa and then North Africa, right? In all of the progressive parts of Africa, sports is a big deal. How difficult is that how difficult is that to understand? You know, we need to get sports, we need to make sport, you know, we need to integrate sports into our plans in this country, whether it's our sponsorship plans or plans to grow society, to teach the sort of values that young people need and all of society needs to become a more progressive society. So there, sorry, I'm not too I hope I'm not making your job difficult for you, but please, guys, you know, all of you big organizations, there's a brand I always, you know, respect and admire because they're in the NPFL. And I'll name them. They are AfriInvest, yeah. Every opportunity I have, I promote AfriInvest, and I'll tell you why. I've had them come on this program to say that, you know, the reason they're investing in Rangers is because they want to, you know, there's trouble everywhere. You know, these young people, they are restless, they are not engaged. So why don't we invest in Rangers? And you know, if that makes the young people happy in the region, and there's something they can unite around and so see the progressive parts of life rather than, you know, that's good. You know, and I think it's an experiment from far off. I think it's an experiment that has worked. You know, you know, in some way. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what I expect. AfriInvest just doesn't give these guys the money. They come in, they sit with the club, and they provide financial planning, you know, strategic management, you know, advice and all of those. That's what I expect, Nigeria. Don't wait for all of the work to be done before you come in. You know, that's not how it works in progressive societies. Do you understand what I'm saying? But so that's to the one corner. Nelson, please, you can apologize to them that it's not you that's talking. Yeah. But yeah, so come January, yeah, we should see. But I'd really like you to see some engagement from you guys. You know, call up all of this. Tony Elumelu said he wanted to invest in a club. Did you guys get in touch with him to say, look, we heard about your interest, would like to speak with you, even if it's just to say, you know what, this is what the league is about, whether you come on board or you don't come on board, these are the facts from our end, you know, just something for you to look at. Did you guys do that? Did the league do that, Nelson?
Like I told you, I can't be dropping names here, but
yeah,
we've done quite a lot in that aspect.
You've done quite a lot.
Quite a lot. In that aspect, even with the big brands you mentioned, we've done a lot.
Okay,
in that aspect.
But and kudos to Tony Elumelu for even coming out to say that.
You know, you mentioned something that is quite instructive, and which is also the message Nigerians should take away from this program. The fact that if you look at all the other leagues in the world, whether the EPL, South Africa, Egypt. The big organizations in those countries are in the forefront of driving those leagues to what we appreciate today. Yeah, we like them today. We like what we see. We celebrate them today. But those big organizations were in the forefront of driving it. And like you said, we sit with them. agree on the deliverables and how it can work. And we come to an understanding on how we want to collaborate on that, on the project. And that has been our own approach so far. So it's not a question of just going to a brand and say, give us money. No, it's not about give us money. It's about the value the league is going to offer and the value the brand is also going to get from the collaboration, because it's very important. And like you said, the socio-economic impact, given what is in the country today, because sports is very, very important. The impact is so much. Once you get it right with sports, it has ripple effects all over the society. And that is what the other countries have been able to achieve. But the good thing today with our league today, we have a proper system in place. We have an accountable system in place. We have a transparent system in place. And you can see the impact on the progress of the league. And like I said, so if the foreign partners are seeing what we are doing and they are also engaging, talking to us now, that means they've also seen something good in what we have done. You know, and like we always seize the opportunity to speak to our brands. They should all come on board. This is the time they should all come on board and let's build a league that we all will be very proud of and make it the number one. If our music is number one today, we can also drive our Premier League to be the number one in Africa. And that's the target.
You see, for me, I think, yeah, well said. You know, and it's not just the corporate sponsors. See, to build a sports industry or to build a league in this case, you have several moving parts that you want to work together. You know, they're the corporate sponsors, for instance. There are, you know, like there's the media. You
have the merchandising, the media, and everybody.
There is the media, and the media in Nigeria needs to rethink, you know, its approach to our sports. You know, on radio this morning, you know, I heard a lot of foreign news, foreign football, and you know, we have this, and it's not based on any scientific study or reports. The media in Nigeria just thinks that the fans are interested in foreign sport, but you know, I beg to differ. All right, and I'll explain. BBC is covering the NPFL. They cover the fixtures, they cover the tables, they cover the fixtures tables, the results. BBC wouldn't act without data. All right. Google does the same. You know, so many other, like you said earlier, international partners are keying in. They're seeing stuff. Oyibo people, these Oyibo people, they don't do like us. They don't do feelings. It's science. So if the international people are seeing stuff in the NPFL, we, the local people, should see what they're saying. Or we should at least be curious about what they're saying, not to live in the paradigm that, you know, this old and, you know, paradigm of foreign is best. You know what I mean? So we need to change all of that. You guys need to go and engage the media. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you're going to somehow try and reorientate the media. You know, all of this foreign is good nonsense. It's costing, and it's not, you know, some stuff I consider nonsense. Because it's costing us our league, and it's because it's costing us our league, it's costing us the commerce around that league. That commerce translates to thousands and thousands of jobs for our children and for ourselves. All right, so you people, please, let's try and make something happen in our country. We need it. Nigeria is burning, right? The elite cannot be fiddling. Do you understand? Can you imagine that? People will come. I remember a book I once read, From Third World to First by Lee Kuan Yew. You know, I read it, and he came to Africa, and in it he said he went to Ghana. And when he got to Ghana, he met Kwame Nkrumah, and he was a dinner guest of. He had dinner with Kwame Nkrumah. And they had a guest, a young Ghanaian who was about 30 years old. He was a brilliant guy, first-class graduate, who was at the time, he was the vice chancellor of the University of Accra, you know. And Lee Kuan Yew, he made a first class, you know. And when Nkrumah had said a lot of things about the young man, and when the young man came, Lee Kuan Yew spoke with him and came out thinking, yeah, that's actually a bright guy, you know. But then he wondered that why would a country that is almost entirely dependent on agriculture send its brightest minds to study Latin? I imagine a guy like Lee Kuan Yew coming to Nigeria in 2024. He's dead now, by the way. And then looking at Nigeria, the young people don't have jobs. They are not engaged. There's rampant crime. Values are at the pits. And then the guy sees that the money that we should use to build our sports and build our society, we're paying this money over $100 million as of today just to watch the league in a different country. I don't know what civilization would understand that. Outside of Africa, by the way, outside of sub-Saharan Africa. All right, so if you don't like what I'm saying, it's because I'm pained. Yeah, Nelson, it's been great having you on this program. I'm going to give you one, because I've damaged your, I've damaged your business. I'm going to here and I'm being, you are you probably don't like some of what I'm saying. It's okay, you're not saying I mean. I'm at liberty to say that, I'm fighting for the league, and I'm not fighting for the league just because of Nelson or because of, I have children in this country. They have to be proud that in their country, I mean, when your child goes on stage in Europe, what do they say? I'm from Nigeria. We have the biggest football league in Nigeria. Not that I'm an Arsenal fan or a Chelsea. I mean, come on, guys. Have your own. The Egyptians will go out on the international stage and completely dominate us. They'll tell you now, Al Ali, they have 12 Champions League titles in Africa. Zamalek has. How many titles? There's only one Nigerian club that has a CAF Champions League title, Eyimba. They have two from when dinosaurs roamed the planet. So we need to change things and move our country in a progressive direction. Nelson, let me let you have the last word, and so that you can limit the damage that I've created for you today.
Anyway, what I'll say is that the development of the NPFL is a marathon. It's not a short sprint. But I mean, the league is at the level now where all brands, especially the big brands in the country, major brands in the country, some of them even working with other leagues outside the country, this is the time they need to look inwards and see how we can take our league to be the #1 in Africa. And we can achieve it because all the elements to support that objective, we have it here. We have the youth population, we have the passion, we have the talent. And one good thing about the Nigerian Premier League today, the Nigerian Premier League has 20 clubs in 20 cities of Nigeria and in 19 states. 20 clubs.
That's very important.
Look at the spread.
Yeah.
20 clubs, 20 cities, 19 states cut across the 6 geopolitical zones.
Yeah.
What else can you have in terms of penetration, in terms of reach, in terms of the kind of spread you want to have in a country of 230 million?
Nelson, I'll close. Thank you very much for coming to the program. I'll close viewers by again going back to AfriInvest. Yeah. Whenever Rangers plays today, I can tell you on good authority that AfriInvest paid 50 million. I don't know what the current fee is for 2020 or for what's going to be 2025, but I'll tell you what, 50 million naira a year for that. Every time Rangers plays, AfriInvest. They're training, AfriInvest. They have any function, AfriInvest. 59 months of that. If your marketing manager comes back to you and tell you that that's not value, fire them. All right? So you've been watching the program. It's been Sports Business with Orufuo Ezaga. On Tuesday next week, we're going to have another exciting program. We're still going to be talking football, by the way. We're going to be talking about a new football league in Lagos that is exciting a lot of young people. And we're going to look at it and see how this adds up to the total sports picture in the country. Nelson, thanks for coming over. It's been a great session with you as usual.
Thank you. Thank you, viewers.
And thank you, viewers, for listening in. We'll be back again next week. And until we do, here's me saying, be productive, be good, and stay safe.